Okay, all I want to point out here, people, 1, 2, 3, and 1 behind me. In other words, 1 more just popped up. Okay, people. So it is January, I think 30th. It's either the 29th or the 30th. 2018. I think it's the 29th. Anyway. It's like 6:30 in the morning. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, right? And I'm trying not to have panic attacks. I don't want the people that I'm initially starting off with this housing program with to ruin it for everybody else. And at the top of that list right now, people, is my daughter. She's ruining it for everybody else. Although I still don't know what the hell is going on in this house, which would be, at this point, somewhat practical too. Because he's just coming into it, right? And you're dealing with strangers that have been traumatized by the outside elements. And this is what's happening with my daughter. She's been traumatized with outside elements to the point where now that she's in the house, she's acting out and she's taking it out on me. And so we're warring right now because I've set boundaries, right? I told her, I said, now that you have that house over there, don't come over here. Right? Because she's too disruptive for the household in general. But mainly for Andre. Right? I reminded her that she didn't grow up with the way she acts with someone in the house. In other words, I didn't facilitate bad relationships with men and then took that bad relationship and imported it into the family home so that my kids grew up with a lot of dysfunction. They didn't grow up like that, people. And I remind Ciera that she didn't grow up like that, so therefore she doesn't have the right to bring that into the house. If I wouldn't do it for her and allow that, I mean, if I would have not allowed that for her as she was growing up, why would I allow that for my grandson growing up? So of course she's jealous, right? She's jealous of the other kids that are in the house because she can't coexist like they do in this house. But that's her fault, to which she doesn't like to take absolutely no responsibility for. It's not like she hasn't gotten lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of chances, because she has. And she's lucky that I've even gone as far as what I've done, people. Right? And I remind her that it's my house. We had a standoff last night. It's my house. And I said, no, Ciera, it's my house. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be in this house. But she's already being disruptive. She's not wanting to... She's washing rocks, people. She's washing rocks in the wash tub in the laundry room, which is extremely small. And it's been decided that that's going to be the main door to use, and because it will track in less dirt and pine needles and that type of stuff. And she's like hogging it, washing rocks in a wash tub, that if she freaking clogs the drain, it's going to cost me $250 that I don't fucking have. And she keeps doing it because they're asking her not to do it. And she keeps doing it. I've been asking her not to do it. And she keeps doing it. This is what I mean by being disruptive. Thank you very much, Fraser Health Authority. Because yesterday when we had that blowout, Andrew, I reminded her that I don't like her. I tell her, I don't like you. I love you. I don't necessarily say I don't like you and then I immediately say I love you. Obviously not. I mean, I'm her mother. Of course I would love her, but I don't have to like her. I don't have to like her than anybody else that would be disruptive in my life. Doesn't matter who it is. You know? She takes advantage of the fact that I'm her mother, right? And because of that, for some reason, she seems to think that I owe her something. All my kids do to some degree. I think that just comes in par and parcel of being a parent. You know, the old people get old and the kids come in and want to sell the house and put the old person tucked away like their dirty secret, right? And then they take the house and they divvy it up between themselves and they get their share. Like it doesn't stop and end with kids. But Ciera is just... I've already warned her that if she keeps up with her antics, I'm going to call the cops on her and I'm going to have her fucking removed. That's what's going to happen. And I've warned... There's only 2 people in the house right now, and I've warned them. You warn her, right? Because if it comes down to that, people, in order to... Okay. First of all, I don't even want to do this video. Okay? Because technically it should be unnecessary. Because if Fraser Health Authority was doing their job for the public, the issue that I'm talking about right now wouldn't be so serious. Because the minute she gets removed from the house, whether it's by some hired thugs or the cops, and I remove her from the house so that she doesn't disrupt the whole house, like she was disrupting this house. When she was here, she was disrupting the whole house. Okay? There were no avenues for me to seek help for her. At best, the police, when they would come and take her, they would just remove her and take her somewhere else. More than likely, up by the homeless shelter. And then just leave her there. To which, within 15 minutes, she'd be back in my garage if she really wanted to. Okay? And, so, you know, at one point, the kids were letting her in the basement, okay? They gave it their best shot last winter because it was so freaking cold. So, they were living in an insane asylum, basically, okay? Or a mental institution. Because, again, the healthcare system doesn't support the safety nets for the people that need it the most. What they do is they import safety nets to the ones that they can tap into resources like Uncle John. Because if they were that serious about building in safety nets for Uncle John, any programs that were developed for him around his needs would have started in the house and then stemmed out. In other words, you know, maybe he would have went to some elderly center and had a dinner, you know, and he's connected with some group or something. And they have their you know, once a month dinners and their fundraisers and, you know, the Legion, that type of thing. Right? With the minibus picking him up. And if need be, his grandchildren helping him on and to off the bus. But no, that's not what they wanted. They wanted to completely sever him from his family, right? Make him fucking loopity-loop in the head to the point where he can't remember anything, because then therefore they can just keep on doing what they're doing. And then they took him away and stuck him in somewhere, people. It's a dungeon of some kind. It's a dungeon of the mind. As they spend his money. But if he didn't have money, we'd be dealing with a Ciera. Right? She's got this huge burn on her leg. It's about that big. Do you see? Because I guess 2 weeks ago or something like that, she was in some tent and tripped over something and it burned her leg. I guess when propane spills or something, it just burns deep and fast. or whatever people are using for fuel and lighting. So anyway, it's been difficult on her because, she doesn't look after herself, right? And there was a point where she was in jail for 2 days. And apparently the police were just being really rough with her and poking her around and just kind of, whatever. And my daughter's tiny, so it wouldn't take much to toss her around, right? And she basically slept in jail for 2 days. And then when they released her, of course she beelined here. And, I had to let her have a shower, right? And she, banded up her leg. I had been giving her polysporin and what do you call those things? Like, pads and the tape and, trying to encourage her to look after it. She's already been to the hospital like 4 or 5 times because of it, in terms of changing the dressing. But apparently it's getting worse, people. She told me now she's getting a big hole in her leg, right? Where, if she's not careful, she's going to lose her leg. If she's not careful, she's going to lose her leg. And the people that are in this house right now, I've been trying to explain to them that this is what she has, and I need you to help her with it because, obviously I'm not having any kind of healthy relationship with my daughter right now. So it's not like I can actually help her with her leg. But I've been providing the antibiotic and, the pads and everything, right? As I have been doing, people. And I'm going to have my younger daughter take her back to the hospital to get a proper cream because I was talking to the pharmacist yesterday about, the polysporin and that type of thing. And there's a better cream that can come from a prescription. So try and get that filled for her, right? And maybe an antibiotic so my daughter doesn't lose her leg or her life, depending on if it turns into flesh-eating disease or something. This is Fraser Healthcare System for you people. This is the mayhem that they bring into our communities by not providing adequate healthcare services to the most vulnerable in our community. They bring a sickness into the community because that sickness that my daughter has right now, it just spreads out. That's all it does, and it poisons the people that it comes into contact with. So, in regards to my daughter acting out with her poison, because she's been in some environments, obviously, that have been highly aggressive. Because yesterday she banging on the wall. Fuck you, get out of here, you stupid cunt. You're a goof, you're a goof, you're a goof. You owe me this, and it's your fault this, and I'm like, Ciera, keep it up. Keep it fucking up, because if it comes down to it, I'll call the fucking cops and I'll have you removed. And then what happens, people? She's back out on the streets, running around, creeping my yard, right? Crawling through windows, sleeping in the laundry room because it's so fucking cold out there. We don't want her dying in the garage because we don't let her in the basement anymore. We can't. Right? So she gets the laundry room. And then she washes rocks in my tub and try and clogs up my fucking drain. Arguing. Getting jealous because her brother and her sisters have rooms and she doesn't. Well, why is that? Well, we know why. This is why she can't go into any kind of accredited, I guess you could say, recovery house under the BC Liberal government regime. Because back in those days, before it got real bad, they still wouldn't even take her. Because they wanted her real bad. And now that she's real bad, there's nowhere for her to go. So that gives a green light for the cops to toss her around like a rag doll when they catch up to her. Because she breached a court date that she can't even fucking remember about. For stealing candy. Are you listening, people? So anyway, I'm trying not to worry about this leg, right? You know, and I'm trying to build in that safety net where, like, you know, I reminded the people that they're not by themselves with Ciera. Like, the sister's coming by tomorrow to try and encourage her to go back to the hospital so the proper prescriptions can be got and then filled out, you know, and then leave them there where the people in the house can make sure she gets them on time, because if you give them to her, she'll just lose them. Fraser Health Authority. Right? You didn't release Uncle John. You medically kidnapped him for his assets, and you gave the corrupt nurse a bone. So that after she got her money, that bone, she'll cruise the hall and she'll look around for her next frickin' victim. As all the realtors in the neighborhood are scoping out the property. So that they can make a fucking profit and keep this economy going so that your wages as a union public sector worker can get paid. In the meantime, we've got Ciera's friends looking after Ciera. And Ciera's friends have their own problems, just like Ciera's family has their own problems. And I know what it's like looking after Ciera. She comes to me, oh, I heard you've been making videos about me. This was before she got the house. So somebody, one of her friends are watching my videos, which I have nothing to hide. This is a video blog. This is reality. This is real life. Right? So, I don't know what they're saying, but she's annoyed with it somewhat. Right? But I remind her that it's my house. It's not illegal to videotape. Right? And that, you know, if she's really got something to say about it, maybe she should clean up her act. Because for the last month and a half, I guess you could say, you know, I got a few videos on my other computer, which I'm actually thinking of adding on to this video. I'm really seriously thinking of doing it, people. Where, you know, she's hovering around in my yard, picking fucking rocks for hours out in the rain. And then we're not expected to bring her in terms of, oh no, you can't do that because Andre's there. Don't have her in the house. Even though she's hovering around your yard, nowhere to go, right? Freezing cold, freezing rain. Like I said, the kids let her go into the laundry room, right? So she wouldn't die in the garage, people. So that she wouldn't die in my yard, people. Because if she goes to the hospital for any length of time, they quickly kick her out. Because they don't give a shit. There's no money to take from her, unlike Uncle John. And I can say that with certainty. Okay? Because that's the reality of what these videos have been expressing. Between the haves and the have-nots. And the ones that have aren't necessarily safe either. So, I don't know. I'm trying not to worry. The other people haven't moved in yet for whatever reason. Now, paperwork is still in the transitional stage of being handed over to the landlord and rent and that type of thing. But, you know, I don't want this group of people, whether it's my daughter as a singular person or a house full of people, and destroying it for everybody else. Because if this house doesn't work, people, this will be the first and last time I ever do this. Serious. Right? It's already costing me money. You know, I'm supposed to get some of this money back. I've been handing in my receipts. Right? So we'll see. We'll see if I get my money back. And if I have to resort to calling cops and all that shit, like, why would I want to do it again? I don't. And currently, it's my daughter who is the most disruptive. Because she's trying to lay down territory that doesn't belong to her. Right? Like I said, I reminded her yesterday that this is you can't just walk in with the key when you want. I said, yes, I can. If it wasn't for you, you wouldn't have this house. It's my house. I said, no, Ciera, it's my house. For the time that I am there in this house, In other words, it won't be my house anymore when I hand in the key to the landlord and finish up with the balance sheet in terms of, God forbid, if I owe him money because of this. Right? Because everybody running some game. Because my daughter, what are people going to use my daughter as an excuse not to be responsible? Because I don't know what they're thinking. Right? You know how people are. Hold on a minute. So anyway. So yes, I do blame Fraser Health Authority for this. In my previous video, I said I was getting in war refugees. And I wasn't kidding. My daughter has a big burn on her leg that's eating a hole in it. Right? Well, at best, the hospital just puts a dressing on it that they know that chances are it won't stay on for very long. Right? And just let her wander off out into the streets. And it is what it is. And now that she finally has a place that she can call home, even if it's only for 7 months or so, she's so shell-shocked that she can't adjust to it. Right? And the other people moving in are in similar situations. Maybe not as bad as my daughter, but are in similar situations. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try and focus on the sign-in contract, make a form for just general information in terms of, you know, everybody should sign in as they're coming in. Right? Try and be patient with my daughter to give her just a little time to get some, you know, some footage in there and ground herself a bit. Right? Start focusing back on Uncle John's paperwork. Because I've already put in almost like 2 weeks on this, people, in terms of going back and forth and just, you know, thinking about it and, right, having to deal with my daughter every day. Since she's been there, she hasn't come to the house. So that's one step forward, but she seems to think I don't have the right to go to that house, which is not going to happen. Right? If she wants to carry on with that attitude, she might find out that she might not be in that house. And if I'm going to call the cops on her over there, I'll call the cops on her over here. And I've already been warning her that I was going to start having to call the cops on her. But again, it goes back to Fraser Health Authority. They are the ones who created the monster. They are the ones that released her out into the community knowing that she had nowhere to go. And then when she comes home, her family has the least of the least in terms of resources to accommodate her needs, which are, a lot of those needs are created by the very people that she comes into contact with in the community, whether they're street people, right? Or whether they're public servant workers like the police. Because when they released her from being in jail for the 2 days that she was in jail, Apparently, they never looked at her leg and dealt with her dressing on her leg, so that by the time she got back and asked for a shower, okay, it was putrid. Her wound was putrid, people. Whose fault is that? The nurse at the police station that didn't take the time to do a general check as they're arresting them off the street and taking them into a jail cell and then just letting them sleep for 2 days because they're having withdrawal on their addictions, with their wounds festering, and then just release them and let them go again with no resources, nowhere to go. That's what I'm trying to fix, people. I'm trying to fix it for my daughter and a small group of people. That, like I said, if this house doesn't work out, I won't do another one. This will be it. I will start closing off ledgers in the nonprofit because it's too draining. You know, it's very, 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 very draining. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm going to remain positive. You know, the weather is miserable right now. Everybody's miserable right now. So I'm just going to I'm going to blame it on the weather. How about that? I'm going to blame it on the weather.
Coming. Coming.
Fraser Health Authority. Do you see this, people? This is what I'm having to deal with almost every fucking day. Why aren't they protecting my daughter, people? I'm going to hand this to the judge when they want to throw it out of court. I'm going to make sure that the judge gets this. Fraser Health Authority takes the ones with the money, dopes them up, makes them lose their memories, and the ones with no money, this is what they do with them.
What? I'm charging you. Guess what for? Invasion of privacy. Have fun in charge. I'm not even playing. I'm still charging you.
Can you leave my property for
You know
now?
what? You had no right to fucking do that, and you're in charge for it. You. If you put it on the internet, I will make sure I'll get the point from you.
This is November 22nd, 2017. This is Fraser Health Healthcare System. Every day I'm having to cope with this. This is what the BC Liberal government did to my daughter.
That's right now.
With their lack of health care.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is November 24th. Do you see what's going on, people? Only I'm giving this to the judge when I go. When I go to have Fraser Health throw out Uncle John's family as they're failing my daughter. Do you see this, people? It's raining outside. Okay? It's raining outside right now. I've been dealing with this for weeks. Ciera. This is December 15th. $6:49 in the morning. Why do you come here to do that? Standing by the door, eating fucking toast and then do that shit. What's the matter with you? Make sure you spit out that food. You got any more food in your mouth? How do you expect me to help you, Ciera? I can't help you. I don't know what to do. This Fraser Health's problem. Ciera. Ciera. You don't live in my garage, Ciera.
Shut up, I'm looking for a little bag of soap and shit.
Seriously, man.
Shut up. I'm looking for a bag
If
of
we
soap.
find you fucking laying out in here again, we're calling the ambulance and we're gonna ask them to have you committed into a mental institution.
Break out the doors, you. I've seen it looking.
Well, yeah, 4 o'clock in the morning.
How is that when you're 4 o'clock in the morning? It's daylight when I came out.
I don't know, Ciera. I got up at 6 and you were out here running around at 6.
Your jug was on, you were wide awake, so whatever. When I was fucking sleeping up and you opened the door and I just forgot I was sleeping. Whatever.
It's 10 o'clock now in the morning. Well, no, I'm just gonna file another lawsuit against this bullshit. Okay, so December 19th, 2017, as you can see, it's cold enough for it to be freezing outside. And apparently Ciera was in the garage at 4 o'clock this morning. I woke up at 6, and she was running around out here on the porch and whatnot. And then I guess at some point she may let her into the laundry room to warm up, right? As Ciera was running around out here with no jacket on and a short sleeve. And so, like, this is just some really crazy shit going on here, people. She comes here because there's nowhere else for her to go, right? Front room doesn't provide enough space for the amount of number of people that are struggling with homelessness and mental health issues and whatnot. right? You know, people get stabbed and it takes 40 minutes for, you know, emergency services of any kind to show up before somebody's given help to them. So I don't know. Okay, people. So it's the same day, December 19th, 2017. My daughter's welfare check came, her support. It's about $300. If I send it back, people, she won't get it for another week or two. If I give it to her, she'll lose it. Because that's what she's been doing. I've been giving her money, and she's been losing it within a day. People have been taking it from her and whatnot. Just hold on, please. Anyway, I just want to point out that she's been having seizures. And she's been having them out in the elements. People, I don't think my daughter is going to live very long. She's not getting the proper health care. And you can see what the weather is becoming like. Right? I have a serious issue problem. Well, Fraser Health Authority wants to dick her around with the services that they provide to my family as a whole. You know, Uncle John, my daughter, my kids along the way. You know, doesn't matter if it's 2005, 2007, 2008, 2015, 2017. There's definitely a pattern. And we've got another 2 more months of this type of weather. And to honestly think that my daughter is going to survive this is just not practical, people. And I do hold Fraser Health Authority in part responsible for my daughter's demise. Okay? I can't stand this shit anymore with you. Okay? Stop touching my shit.
First of all, it's not your shit, it's my shit right here.
Those are my rocks from my yard.
Okay, sure they are, Judy. I'm the one that carries these all here. You're nice fucking dry. You crazy bitch. Like, fuck that. You can ignore this shit, you fucking dumb cunt.
I don't want you in my garage anymore,
I
Ciera.
don't care what you want.
I don't want you in my yard. I don't want you in my garage.
Good. Oh, by the way, yeah, so you can either get my rent check back from the landlord or figure something out, because I don't live here, and you can't...
Stop using my laundry room, Ciera. Stop using my fucking garage.
What? Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Yeah, one time, yeah.
Yeah, one time. Yeah, you're right there, Judy.
Why are you in my fucking garage almost every night, Ciera?
You're right there, Judy. Equal to $400, doesn't there, Judy?
Just get the fuck out of my yard. Stop coming around here.
Anyways, don't argue with me.
Nobody's interested in your bullshit anymore.
Get out of there, Judy.
Okay?
Bye.
Stop bringing your
Bye,
garbage
Judy.
here.
Bye.
I don't need your Fruit
Bye,
Loop
Judy.
boxes.
Bye, Judy.
All your cardboard, all your paper.
Don't give me your shit. Bye, Judy. Oh. Oh, by the way, I'm charging for invasion of privacy. For keeping people without their permission is a charge offense to jail.
No.
Oh, yes, how much?
No, I'm a party to
This
this.
is how much I bet it is, Judy.
Why are you in my garage?
How much I bet it is?
Why are you in my garage?
My shit out of your garage there.
Good.
Judy. Yeah.
You make sure you take your shit out of my garage.
Just so you know.
Tisha told you to commit yourself into the hospital.
What?
It's like December 7th, 2018. January 7th.
I don't need to go to a fucking hospital. You need to go get your head checked, not me. Get down to your head.
No, seriously. January 7th, 2018,
Blah, blah, blah,
and this is how you
blah,
live.
blah, 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 blah. Okay,
In my
okay.
garage.
Okay, so then again, another fucking charge for videotaping me without my permission. There you go.
Why are you in my garage?
I told you I'm driving myself and you didn't fucking do it. You know what? Okay. I'm not playing a little fucking game. You can charge my word. I'm going to cop shop right now.
Well, that would be
I'm
good,
charging you.
because I don't want you in my yard anymore.
Like I said, I'm charging you.
I don't want you in my yard anymore.
Right now I'm charging you my fucking word.
You do that. Oh my God.
there's no cutscene, you know? Nothing, no? Oh. Imagine that one.
Turn off the fucking water! You're gonna get electrocuted out there! This is January 7th, 2018. This is your health care. Leave my property, Ciera. Nobody wants you here anymore. You're causing too much trouble.
You catch my chest? Oh, by the way, why am I here? Because you catch my wrench and I have nowhere to live, you goo. Thank you.
Fraser Health Authority. There you go. Yeah, no, that's Fraser fucking Health Authority for you bullshit crap. Fraser Health Authority, January 11th, 2018. I have to put up with this fucking shit all the fucking time. You can medically kidnap old people for their fucking money, lock their asses up, but you can't lock up the fucking crazies on the fucking street, right?
Oh, yeah, this is real.
You're a fucking crazy.
You're a fucking crazy goof, man.
It's just not sweet.
I'm just filing another lawsuit, people. I'm tired of this fucking crap. This is January 11th at 11:30 at night. I have every right to file another lawsuit against Fraser Health Authority. Why are you in my yard? Like, seriously, man? It's 11:30 at night. Stop picking rocks. No, seriously.
Shut the fuck up. Seriously.
I can't cope with this anymore.
What are you fucking bugging you? Like, you the fuck
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, whatever, bro. You bugging me all the fuck. Fuck off. Fuck. There you go, across the street.
Okay. January 14th, 2018.